Please, begin.
Alright. The snow falls gently in large, fluffy flakes, adding to the already thick blanket that covers the village of Stromberg and everything for miles around it. The cold air is mostly still, with occasional gusts that cause the snow to dance in the crisp morning air. The silence is broken by the sound of a multitude of small footsteps crunching through the snow. Children talking, laughing, just kind of to themselves and into small groups, come together and slowly kind of begin to divide themselves into teams and walking to separate sections of the field. Some of them begin rolling up large balls of snow and compacting them into little fortresses for the battle ahead. Meanwhile, across the field, mostly hidden by a forest, is kind of a ramshackle manor house, in a horrible state of disrepair, kind of dark and foreboding. The flaking paint and cracked window panes, a slouching roof, speak mostly of the structure's age and disrepair. Despite the apparent structural instability, a thin line of smoke rises up from a chimney on one side of this house. Inside, two tieflings of purple skin go hurriedly about, pulling on clothing while trying to hurriedly devour their porridge and bits of snacks that they have for breakfast.
I need my other mittens and I don't know where they are.
You'd forget everything. They're over here, under your journal.
And I think I got porridge inside my scarf.
Well, I can't help you with that, so you're on your own there.
I'll just roll it in. So I just tuck it into my tunic and I go on and grab my mittens. I look like every other kid on snow day.
At this point, an old woman with wiry steel gray hair shuffles over from the stove and lays down upon a heavy wooden table a pan of sweet honeyed bread buns onto the table. Her very heavily wrinkled face is just split with a wide grin, and you kind of see the kind of crooked yellow teeth that kind of almost jagged. They kind of peek out from underneath, and she kind of gleams at the two of you with her big, huge, bushy eyebrows and kind of this one clouded over eye and one that is a kind of a deep, kind of a stormy gray that still kind of glistens. She looks at you and she kind of shoves the pastries in your directions and is like, I hope you do well today.
I'm going to put some in my pocket so they can keep my hands warm.
Well, you better, because, it's, what's his face is leading the other team.
Hans Beckett.
Yeah. The Becketts, huh? They have a good farm. Good farm.
Terrible children. I took a huge bite out of this roll. Just they're always rude.
Well, regardless, I hope you have a pleasant day. I'll be at the cemetery for most of the day, going about my rounds, making sure everything is how as it should be.
You should come in and watch the fight.
Doesn't interest me.
But there's gonna be Lukien.
Still not interested. Gotta watch my figure. As she kind of rears up the hunch in her back and kind of rubs her belly a little bit. And then she kind of shuffles off down the hallway. And then you hear, after a few seconds, a loud thud of the heavy oak door close behind her as she makes her way out of the house.
It's probably for the best that she's not coming to fight. She doesn't want to see us be killers.
Or get her asses beat. I mean, he's the popular kid.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I know.
We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna beat them. We're gonna crush them.
Meanwhile, not too far away, at one of the many farms in the area, a blonde, slightly heavy-set farm boy named Lukien hurriedly goes about finishing his morning chores as his father, a much older and balding version of his son, works alongside him. And he kind of looks at you and grumbles and is like, there's a lot of work to be done around here. Yeah, here you are, convincing your mother to let you go off and play games with these other kids. You need to get your head out of the clouds, boy. You're a farmer.
But where the clouds are where the birds fly, Dad.
He just rolls his eyes. The cow's not gonna milk itself now.
That's only once a year. Once a year this happens. I just need 4 hours, 5 hours maybe. Yeah, I'm back, milk cloud.
Once a year it's the winter
Clouds.
festival.
Clouds.
Once a year it's the spring festival. Once a year it's the summer festival. You add all that up and that's a lot of the year.
Didn't you dream as a kid, Dad? Come on.
I knew better.
Uh,
Had my head on right. Knew where my future was, and it was farming. Saved up some money, and now I own my own farm. A farm that you'll be taking over once I'm gone.
this may be your life, but it isn't what I want for my life. I can't remember how that line went. From Rusty Blues.
Yeah.
And hops his pickup truck and drives away.
Wolverines!
So with the last sling of hay, and you finish milking the cow, you quickly snatch up your heavy coat and begin making your way towards the field. Meanwhile, in a cozy apartment above a small shop along Market Street, a half-elf sits carefully drinking some tea, enjoying the warmth of the hearth, his socked feet kind of propped up on like a little bench by the fire, toasting his toes. He's got a plate of sausages and some biscuits kind of sitting on like a little side table next to him as he's kind of flipping through a little bit of a book. No real hurry to go anywhere at this point in time.
Not yet.
You kind of glance over at the corner where you see your longbow and a quiver of arrows for the tourney later today. But that's not until well after the grand battle of the snowy field, which you're kind of interested in going to go see, but you know that's not going to start for another couple of hours.
Yeah, I got some time.
So, with that, you two managed to basically cross through the forests, winding your way through the heavy, twisted oaks that separate your house from the snowy field. Literally only maybe 70, 80 feet from your front door. As you kind of pierce through these heavy trees, you look out and you see the kids are already starting to kind of form up into groups. You see Annika kind of gathering around a relatively small number of kids to her side of the field. Meanwhile, Hans is on the other side, and he's got easily more than half the group already on his side, while a lot of the others are still just kind of milling about and kind of talking to one another and having fun. You show up just as they're kind of crossing into the field. You see Hans kind of look at you, and he's like, "Lukien, you gonna join my army this year?"
I'm gonna glance over at the twins. Be like, I think I'm gonna. You need some good competition, so I'm gonna be on the other side.
We got
You're
sweet
right.
rolls.
Well, I hope you give us a good run for the money.
That's right.
I make devil eyes at him, like
Which is pretty easy.
stick a tongue out.
Well, some of the other kids kind of look at you all weird. He's like, "Have fun."
Yeah.
He goes back to helping some of the other kids
Look,
build
here,
up the
have
central
two.
fort.
Sorry I'm late, guys. My dad was being dumb again. About the future.
You don't need to worry about the future. You're a kid, and you're supposed to worry about right now, this battle.
I'm not really a kid anymore.
Well, okay. Use your sweet rolls. So, are we going to be tunnelers? Are we going to stand on top of the things and throw the snow? We're gonna have like phalanx formations with shields. I still think that if we talk to Vic, that we might be able to get him to shoot snowballs from the side.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, is there already, on our side, is there already kids starting to form like a makeshift fort, or is it?
Yeah, but there's maybe on Hans's side, you see that there's about 40 kids gathered up with him, and there's only about 20 over by helping Annika out at this point. There are a few more than that, though, that are still kind of milling about and that haven't really chosen a side. Some of them may not even actually participate. You know, not all the kids do every year, but there's usually a large enough number that it's
Epic.
pretty epic.
We have to get Annika to give like a speech, like a rousing, come to my side, we will win speech. But she probably has to do it because I don't think they're going to listen to us.
Yeah. Well, let's start gathering everybody together. We can start pushing people towards our side. And
Oh, yeah. What if they don't even have an option? We just tell them that they're on our team.
yeah,
Nice.
I think people like it best when they don't have any options. They just, are told what to do.
People are sheep.
But didn't you just say you were late because your father was telling you?
It's probably
What to do?
genetic.
Yeah. It's different.
Well, you're on a level with them,
Yeah.
not like their authority figure.
Okay.
You're not
Just so
telling
you
them
know.
what to do.
Annika is 14 years old, and she's the daughter of the local lord and lady of the area. She's tall, kind of gangly, with long golden blonde hair and these really piercing ice blue eyes. It's kind of a far departure from the rest of her family, which normally has kind of dark hair and similar blue eyes, but she's one of the only ones that's just like straight up like this golden blonde hair. She's not particularly athletic, but she's known to kind of get her hands dirty and pitch in and do things. Unfortunately, she doesn't get a whole lot of opportunity to hang out and do things with the rest of the kids because her mother is raising her to be the proper lady, for courtly type stuff and that kind of thing. So she doesn't get a lot of time to go out and just play and be a kid. Her older brother, on the other hand, is well known for the Battle of Snowy Field games. He is one of the few team captains that led more than 2 years in a row, and his team won every time that he was team leader. He has gone on, now that he's a little bit older, to be he hasn't been knighted yet, but he works with the town guard as a captain, doing he's a watch captain and that kind of stuff. So he's well on his way to fulfilling his duties and his own personal dreams of basically becoming a knight and going off and doing things for the kingdom and that kind of stuff. Hans is the youngest of 5 brothers. He is 16, so this is the last year that he gets to participate in the Battle of Snowy Field. This is also the first year that he actually has been selected as a team captain. So normal, previous years, it's been his brother at varying stages. It's not always one of the Becker boys, but often enough that it's pretty much known that they are the blue team. Historically speaking, the Becker brothers are also bullies. Hans seems to be the only one that has deviated slightly from that path. He's kind of built up a reputation, not just amongst the other kids as being kind of like the cool kid, But he goes around and he kind of has built up a reputation with some of the local farms and shop owners and stuff like that, doing like a little bit of helping out and getting some of the other kids to kind of pitch in and do things around town and stuff like that. The three of you kind of know that, or you don't really know, but you believe that there are ulterior motives behind this charitable work. He himself doesn't do a lot of that work. It's mostly him convincing other people to go out and do things in his name.
Delegator.
Yeah, he is very good at, but he's very good at getting people to do things for him and reaping the benefits thereof.
That charisma though.
He is very tall, fairly athletic in his overall build. He does work on his own, on the family farm and everything, bucking hay and that kind of stuff during the summer. So he's pretty fit. Plus he has his own personal workout routine and everything. He has his own sights set on maybe next year picking up a squireship with one of the local lords. So he's kind of got it. You pretty sure he's pushing, angling that direction, and that's part of why he's doing these extra activities. Well, when I say he's doing these extra, he's
Extra
organizing
Yeah.
other people to do these extra activities. But they have gone about, and you guys have, so over time, you've collected up a few more people. You guys have a little over 30 people on your side. He winds up still having about 40. So still slightly outnumbered in the overall number of allies and enemies. At this point, you are getting to the field as a lot of the adults are starting to kind of show up. They have stands that are set up on either side of the field, along the sides with the gold fort on this side and the blue fort on this end, with a few little like scattered little like barricades and walls and stuff that are kind of shoved up together to kind of provide some sort of shelter from snowballs. At this, you also see as Zariel is going about, he walks up to you guys, hands you a little shield. It's about yay big. It's very standard heater shield, shaped shield. It's painted red and blue with a silver cross in the center of it. He kind of hands each of you one of those. It's just like a thin wood, but as you grab it, it has a slight warmth to it. And he hands you this kind of slightly curved stick, about 2 feet long, with like a little cup on the end. Hands each of you a shield and a stick. He's like, looks at you. He's like, afterwards, I want you to grab up one of the wands, and you're going to help me kind of clear away some of the snow for the tourneys this afternoon.
Will do.
Okay. He hands you a shield and a snowball thrower.
Could he have a wand for the fight?
Just kind of looks at you. Azariel is a kind of a deep crimson red as far as tieflings go, with black horns that kind of curl up and then back and sweep backwards away from his head. He's got a very thin beard that comes to like a really extra long pointy goatee that kind of curls slightly at the end. He's got deep dark black eyes, completely like pupilless, which kind of gives him an overall sinister appearance, but he's always smiling. He walks around in these gray and green robes, and you know that he runs owns the Wizard's Tower that's in the southern side of town. He is a kind of a what's the word I would use? Interesting character in town. He stirs up a lot of gossip and stories and things. He likes creating kind of like a buzz as being like this mystery person that lives in the town, and he's always up to something, and he generates a lot of gossip amongst the locals, but kind of in a good humored kind of way. Everybody's always wondering what he might be up to or
Oh,
where he's
Off
gone
fighting
off
dragons
to.
again. Can't mow his lawn.
But he's also gives back to the community a lot. He does he does fireworks during the summer and stuff at the various festivals. Like for this festival today, where you guys will be doing your snowball battle, he actually created and provides the magical toys for the kids to use during the thing. You can keep them. The enchantment is very, very temporary. It will only last basically 2 days. But you can basically, once you leave here, you can go out and throw snowballs in pretty much any field you want. It will all work as it did before, at least for the next 24 hours. But now everything is starting to kind of come together. You guys have taken to your sides of the field. People have started gathering around, watching, sitting up in the stands.
I have eaten my last sweet roll. I'm now eyeballing Kurt's. Did you bring any more sweet rolls?
Just mine. I'm saving it for after. I don't want to get a cramp or anything.
Take your beat off. Get the mat over. Now I know I already explained the rules to you guys online, but just to make sure that you guys are aware, the object of the battle is to either completely eliminate the opposite team or capture 2 of their 3 flags. You're supposed to capture their flags and return them to your base.
All your base are belong to us.
Capture the flag. Yep. Whoops. If you
Now they can't beat us.
take out a runner, let's say for example you see somebody has captured one of your flags, and you take out the runner, you have to you either can go claim it and return it to your base or wherever it came from, or just leave it there. It doesn't count as points until it's actually back at whoever it is, its home base.
So say somebody grabs my flag and runs 10 paces this way. And I take them out. And I only get 3 paces back before somebody takes me out.
Then they can
take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
So it
not
just stays.
get it back. They have to.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like a video game where we step
Where
over
it magically returns to.
Yeah.
You have to carry it.
Yeah,
physically
To be
for
fair,
yourself.
this tournament is being run by a serious wizard, so it could be magic.
Okay. So there's your guys' team.
Nice.
Are you able to pick up your own flags, like quickly around here and just grab them and put them all in one
We got
spot?
funky colored
No.
ones.
No?
They have to. If you're going to return them, they have to go back to where they came from.
There
Okay.
are some rules here.
That's why I'm asking. I need to make sure that.
Are we spreading out or?
I mean, I suppose it's up to how Annika would organize your team, right?
Well, she tries to get people to kind of organize and do things, but most of these kids kind of go off and do their own thing.
Fair enough.
Well, your phalanx idea won't work. You know how these kids are.
I could try.
No,
What is nope? Are you noping me?
no,
You're not noping me.
I'm not. Just go on and do what you're doing. Don't let anything cut off.
Any thoughts on placement here, Ian? Like, I don't know. It just seems like putting people near the flags would be smart, right?
Yeah.
And then some
Having
reserves.
some
Think over this
attackers.
He's gonna give them reserves to take over casualties.
There you go.
Don't forget to place yourselves
And we
in the midst
need-
of them.
we
Yeah, the
runner.
important thing is to place yourselves.
I'm
Mind you, once you guys get all those placed, I will wind up shuffling them out because they got kids.
Right.
Yeah. Don't rely on your,
So you're
your
by one of
cards,
the flags,
they're
you're
not
by one of
gonna
the
stay.
flags. I will also be by one of the flags.
Now then, there are some other basic rules. You can't go out of bounds.
Okay.
If you do, you're basically eliminated. They do have people that are refs to make sure that nobody's cheating or whatever.
And that's why Vic's not throwing balls from the sideline.
So Annika is the kind of flamey one on this end. Hans is the shiny one on the blue side. Looks like you guys have split up a bit over here, but that's
For
fine.
now. For now.
This kid gets antsy, comes running over here. These kids go running out over there, but that's okay because these kids go running out there and they're already like thinking, I'm throwing snowballs out there because they're idiots.
Oh yeah, they're just here to just help one another.
Hopefully we don't have too many kids who try and hit their own teammates.
Friendly fire is not friendly, and it will have an impact on you guys. So keep that in mind. Do you guys remember the stats for the weapons?
+2 to armor class. +2 to hit.
What?
Nope.
There's
Short
no
answer,
+2
no.
to hit on the snowball thrower.
Okay.
The shield is a +2 AC. A reaction, you can negate a snowball hit against yourself or a close ally.
Is our base AC just 10 for now?
Yeah.
So our base AC would be 12 with the shield?
With the shield.
And then the snowball thrower is bonus action, load a snowball. Action, throw a snowball.
What's
And
the to hit?
it doesn't have it.
So
Doesn't say
just
to hit.
base +2, like our
You don't have a,
Like a
plus
proficiency
2, you don't,
bonus?
you're not proficient.
I'm not proficient in snowball thrower.
No.
This game is a hack. What's the card for?
So you can write down your stats.
Oh,
Your armor class is 12. Your to hit is +0.
And the range of the snowball throwers is short range 20 feet, long range 40 feet.
Yep.
So they're really short range.
They are snowballs.
long range 40 feet, short range 20 feet.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anything beyond 20 feet is at disadvantage.
Yeah.
I didn't mean-
You can't hit anything beyond.
Yeah.
Should probably grab some more dice. Disadvantage.
Is it one hit, you're out?
There is a saving throw. If you
Saving
get
throw?
hit with a snowball, you make a Constitution saving throw, DC
DC
10.
10.
If you fail, you are paralyzed
For a minute.
magically for a minute. You basically are knocked prone and you just paralyzed. You drop to the ground and you can't do anything.
It's not like we spend a minute on the ground crying and rolling around like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
although we are kids.
And then the captains have an extra +2 AC and +2 to their Constitution saving throw because they're wearing captain's vests that
Yep.
have.
Somebody read.
I don't write that.
But as everybody kind of gets into positions and some of the kids start to get a little antsy and changing their mind about their positions and everything, at noon, the church bell rings out and battle commences.
Okay. How are we gonna do this? Initiative?
Yep, roll initiative.
Yeah, give me another note card. You gave me one for Ace for my character, but not for that.
That was almost a 20. I'm guessing +0 currently on this as well.
Alright. Kurt.
At 8.
2? 2. Blue team, blue captain, gold team, gold captain.
Blue team on 12. Gold team on 15.
Ooh.
Okay, do you need their actions? Okay, good check. Alright, gold team, roll out! 15.
All right, move everybody that's out in the field. Basically, all these guys, move them 20 feet towards people.
If you're already within 20, you stay put.
Move them 5 because they're not going to stand there. Then,
Wait, would these guys, do you want these guys moved? They have half
yep,
cover?
they are going to move over behind this wall. This one's going to shift over there. And then all of these guys, these two come running out and go off in that direction. And yep, those go off on the other side. And then these two, actually these three, go running off in this direction. They are going to take a 30-foot move and then a 30-foot dash and go straight out towards the boundary over there. Then the other three are going to do the same thing, with Annika following along behind.
30 and 30.
Yeah.
So all the way to the corner?
Yeah.
So
So
they should
these
make-
guys
they
are going to
should
do
make
30
60
more.
feet.
They're going to-
I got you.
They're basically heading for the edge and then down the edge.
Yeah, so they're heading here and then this way. So yeah.
Okay. And we have to get
So
our
then
flag
they're going
to our, or their flag to our base.
Yeah. Now at this point, people are flinging snowballs. They take out 8 of the blue team. So take out 3 of these ones. These 2. Those 2. And then one more. How about that guy?
Who did that?
Alright. Who's after? Gold team.
Blue team.
Alright. Blue team. These guys just kind of go running straight up and kind of line up over here and start throwing snowballs at people. These guys are basically going to kind of run over here and mill about in like a clump over here.
How tall are these barriers?
These give half cover, those give 3/4 cover.
I meant physically, height-wise.
So about
Nah.
half of a kid.
Yeah.
Half a kid tall.
Okay. 3 feet. Sure.
2 feet.
2 feet, 2 feet. Kids
Then
are
there's a
small.
3/4 cover, so it's like 3/4 of a kid.
Now 4 of these guys,
Mhm.
whatever 4, kind of begin to circle out this direction. And then 4 more kind of begin to circle out this direction. Han stays in the...
Yeah, that's
In
what I
the
was
thing.
going to ask about Hans. Oh,
And then the rest of those just kind of run out here into the field. They're supposed to stay out and as backup, but that's...
Who wants to do that?
Yeah,
Nobody
nobody
wants to do that.
yeah,
job.
nobody wants to play defensive.
They launch snowballs at people.
PvP.
Oh, this is actually a pretty good round for you guys, as they only take out 5 people.
yeah.
So let's go with those 2, and that one.
Yep, just the whole front line.
Yeah.
That's right, that's why they were there.
Alright, who's next?
Next is Kira.
Alright, Kira, what are you doing?
I get, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yep.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20.
You can shoot over.
I want to run up, grab the flag, and start running back.
Okay.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And dash. 5, 10. Pick up the flag.
Mm-hmm.
5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's me.
Alright,
And
who's
then it's
after Kira? Kurt.
Alright. I'm back there.
She's screaming madly the whole time. Cover me!
Roll my eyes, I guess. I don't think I can reach.
I should just hear it.
Yeah,
Okay. You're running over there.
I guess running right over there.
Lukien!
Alright, what are you doing, Lukien?
Seeing
Annika.
Annika run over here, kind of guessing what she's going to try and do. I'm going to run, not run, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to try and create a distraction.
Remember that you can shoot at long range.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
have
At
to.
disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try and take one of these kids out at long range.
Okay. So that one is not going to get the cover
He's
because
not
he's out
ready.
away from the wall. But you will be at disadvantage. Go ahead.
11 and 4.
So you fling the snowball out in that direction, and it just kind of arcs past. It kind of has like this slight curve to it as it goes like whizzing past the head into the snow beyond.
Okay. After Lukien, it's initiative.
All right.
No.
I was like gonna say roll high.
Roll
and-
high. I guess not. Kurt.
10.
Lukien.
20.
Blue team.
Blue team 18.
Gold team.
Gold team 7.
Lukien.
It had a nice start.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to grab the flag. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then, so let's see, 5 to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
Nice. After Lukien, it's blue team.
All right. As you go running out, those 5 guys kind of come running over there. 2 of them are flinging snowballs at the one gold guy there. The rest of them are going to try to take you out because you took the flag. So at you, 3 will miss. 15.
Oof.
Do you block it?
You
As a reaction, you can
yeah.
automatically deflect 1.
I'll deflect one of them, yeah.
Alright, and then the third one, an 11.
Oh.
Alright, Constitution saving throw. This is 10.
6.
Oh.
I thought we had an AC of 12.
Yeah, with the shield.
Oh, you're right.
Oh yeah, so you don't
So
get
you
hit.
get hit.
Dodges.
Alright.
I even wrote it down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that gold guy is taken out. Then on this side, same basic thing.
Oh,
It's
except
the-
This guy is going to
yeah, I was
kind of
gonna
run
say,
right
just
over
more
here.
hero.
And then these 3 are going to kind of move up. And then fling at Kira.
She's just screaming.
So first one, 2.
Miss!
Third one, 6.
Miss!
Or sorry,
Second one.
second one. Now the third one,
Not this hard.
6. The fourth one, 13.
Fuck it.
All right.
She's just doing this in place for the flag.
Meanwhile, these guys kind of come running up behind over here. They're basically going to run up the side, kind of like Danica's team is doing.
Is that what this guy's gonna do?
Yeah, they're going to move up. And then those 4 will fling at you. Miss. 5, miss. 10, miss. 13.
Constitution saving throw.
19!
So you get pegged in the back, but it just skids off, and you're like,
Oh!
and some of it goes like down the back of your coat.
Oh, that's the worst. It's a crit.
And then these guys just kind of are going to move up into this area, and they start throwing snowballs. Did these guys already move?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so move them up, and they're going to fling snowballs at all these random people.
Grafina.
Ooh. And 5 more of the gold team go out.
Damn.
Take those 2, and how many did you take them over?
5?
She got 5.
Oh,
You got all
that'll
5.
work.
Well, you had them all, those guys were moving, so I assume they were.
Well, there were
There's some on that side too.
Oh, okay, well then we'll say there's 2 left here,
And
and
take
then
that
take
guy.
those 2 out.
Yeah.
Alright,
Dropping.
after blue team, Kurt.
All right, Kurt.
Gonna move here. Gonna
Okay.
throw at that guy.
Eat
All
him.
right.
6.
You fling the snowball. You're like, "Ugh." And then you open your eyes. You missed.
Yeah.
Alright, gold team.
All right. So these guys are all going to shoot out over in here, and these guys are going to move up to cover you, and they're going to start firing at those guys.
Go team!
Then all these guys are going to go running up and fling over there, as well as these 3. They're feeling, oh yeah, let's get them, guys! They go running out there, and they're going to fling. These guys, they're already shooting over here, right? So these 2 will move up a little bit closer, and they're going to shoot off over in that direction. Ooh, not a good round though. They only take out 4 guys. Take out 2 from this side and 2 from that side.
Crikey.
Alright, who's next? Bree?
Next, it's the gold team. They just went. Good job. Now it's Kira's turn.
That was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kira!
Kira's just gonna start screaming and run for it. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hi! High five, Kurt, as I run past. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 towards the base.
Did I get a turn?
You went first this time.
You grab the flag.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
that?
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
But now it's initiative. Kurt,
15.
Lukien,
18.
blue team,
Blue team, 11.
gold team.
11?
Nice.
Lukien is first
Gonna be
again.
a massive Lukien disrupt.
Run. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 25, 30.
Bree.
After Lukien, it is Kurt's turn.
Alright, he's gonna go and fling it.
Fling it. Good
A
job.
snowball at this guy.
Okay.
18.
Alright. He goes out!
Nice.
Excellent. Blue team. Well, did you want to move?
No, I'll stay there.
Okay. Blue team and gold team simultaneously.
Alright. So, as everybody goes simultaneously, all these guys come running out here, and they're going to move out here into this area so that they can fling. All these guys are going to move up. Yeah, all those guys move up. Don't forget these guys back here. Alright.
It's not looking good.
And then gold team will the front line will kind of go back a little bit. Yep. And then alright, so blue team throws, takes out 9 gold team. But in the meantime, gold team takes out 12 blue team.
Yeah,
4, yeah.
Okay. 12 blue team?
Yeah.
2 and 2, and then 4 from that side.
Do you want
Annika?
Annika to move back or?
Yeah, she's gonna basically just kind of roll over the thing.
Action dodge.
Yeah.
Alright. If the blue and gold team are done, it is Kira's turn.
Alright,
me.
Kira.
I'm going to take the base, so take the flag to base. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
As you enter into the thing, you hear a trumpet from one of the towers up above, signaling, and they quickly raise up one of the 3 standards on that side of the field.
I spear it into the snow, and then I run back out. 5, 10, 15, 20.
With the flag.
Without the flag. Where we go? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I will wield my sword, or my flinger, and my shield on my head, and go, we're winning!
Alright,
It's initiative.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kira, you are so slow. Kurt,
19.
Lukien,
5.
blue team,
18.
gold team,
5. Go with Lukien, they're going slow.
Kurt.
Yeah. Alright, so Kurt. Yeah, I guess I'll move up so I can be in range of. I'll just get this guy here in the corner.
Okay.
And fling a snowball. Natural 1.
Ah! You fling it and it just kind of rolls off the end as you're like
Oh, that's
trying to
the
throw
worst.
it and it kind of lands at your feet.
And I move back behind the rest of the gold team here.
Okay.
I'll stay there. Alright.
Alright, blue team's next.
Alright, so all of these guys kind of shuffle up here. This one's going to move up to about there. This guy's going to move up next to him.
Oh no.
And then these guys all kind of run like around over here so that they can basically throw snowballs without having to worry about the cover. Which what? About
It's 5 blue or 6 blue versus 5 gold.
So on this side, oh no! This side takes out all 5 of those guys, and one of them is shooting at you. So
Okay.
15.
I block it.
Okay. Meanwhile, on this side, they fling at the gold. The gold is horribly outnumbered.
Yeah.
But if they only take out 4 gold,
There's like 3.
and
Well,
let's
then-
roll for extra for Danica. Danica is not taken out. Or Annika, not Danica. And then 2 at you. First attack. Ooh, a natural 20. So you're gonna get you block that one. And then the second one. Ow, a second natural 20 in a row.
Roll
Make your
your-
save, man. Make your save.
But the flag is right there.
Yep.
Got it. 16.
Yes.
16, you're like, ah! Son of a bitch! Clutch to the flag!
Over the intercom. Language.
Alright, who's
Alright,
after
and
that?
that's the blue team. That makes it Lukien and gold team Simon.
Alright, Lukien.
Come around. 5, 10,
2
15.
flags in our face.
And the trumpet sounds! 2 flags! Second flag goes up on the other side. And then there's a cannon fire. Boom! Boom! It's signaling that one side has emerged victorious.
Yes!
All the children cheer. People on the stands are like, yeah!
All 4 of the gold team.
There's not very many of us left.
Well, 6 gold team left, including us.
Yeah.
5.
But hey, our captain is still standing. Our team is still standing.
17 blue team.
Now, let's go beat that Becker kid. Oh, party trumpets. Okay. I go and pick up our flag and start waving it around.
Alright. So after the
Oompa is correct.
after the battle is done and the kids kind of start going and helping up some of the ones that are still falling down and everything, and they're all laughing and having a good time. And Annika comes up to you guys and is like, wow, thanks guys. You were really good. So I know most people don't know this, but today is my birthday, and I was wondering if you guys would come to my party tonight.
High five. Yes!
I got a flag.
Yeah, you did. We were going to go get it, but you were so fast.
We would love to come to your party, Annika.
Yeah.
Awesome. At this point, Azariel comes walking up to you and hands you a wand. He's like, start snow blowing.
Can I bring a +1?
Sure.
Cool.
Alright.
Azariel kind of looks at the 2 of you guys like,
Can I have a wand for snowballing too? Yes! I'll put the flag down and go out and.
so as you guys are walking around, basically you're using the wand and you have designated areas that you're supposed to clear out for, like the archery tournament and the melee for the knights and some squires later on. Basically, as you're going along, it just kind of radiates this like warmth that just kind of almost instantly melts out the snow. So you're basically just kind of going along and kind of melting
It's a wand of
the snow
prestidigitation.
I cast heating ray.
It's if you kind of like over your hand or accidentally get one of the other kids, it's only about as warm as like a really warm hair dryer. So it's doesn't do anything, but it melts the snow away really cleanly and quickly. So
Belly up.
hey. But as you guys are doing that, Annika is there's like a little thing where she goes up and she gives like a little brief speech. Is like, I just want to say thank you for everybody that participated and joined my team. And I'd like to say that the other team was amazing today. Had it not been for 2 of our really fast runners, we would have easily been beaten today. The blue team was really accurate in their snowball throws. And the crowd cheers and everything. And thanks! She gathers up all the ribbons and she will basically be going around to each of the kids that are on her team and handshaking and handing out the prize ribbons that basically signal that you basically get free treats for the remainder of the day from the various vendors and stuff. That's mostly just like food and drink and stuff like that. It's a pretty sweet deal,
It's
honestly.
an amazing deal.
But she comes along and she pins up you guys and gives you like your little ribbon and everything. It's a blue and gold striped ribbon with kind of like a snowflake at the top.
With gold being the predominant color, because we are the wieners.
You're the Venus.
Wieners.
Well, the town's colors are blue and gold. That's why they went with
We're Aberdeen.
But we're windy. I try to keep the wand when we're done snow blowing. Yeah.
But you see a lot of kids are running around with like little scoops and throwing snowballs at each other. Occasionally at their parents who will stop that. But you know, they actually kind of like it.
Have a lot of kids like kind of discarded them too, like those who don't want to play? Like, are there just various ones lying around?
Yeah.
So while they're all doing this, I'm just gonna try and hurl at them. Oh, that's an 18.
Who you throwing at?
I'll let you pick. I just kind of tossed it at him. I wasn't aiming.
We'll say you get a snowball that pegs you in the back of the head. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Still enchanted.
3.
Bonus action reload.
As the snowball comes and it kind of pegs her at the side of the head, it just takes her right off her feet. She's like,
Like tipping cows.
she lands about 5 feet from where she was standing at.
And now I'm dead.
Okay. I did not grab a
I
shield.
missed.
I got paper towel and clean off the.
I was gonna say, I didn't grab a shield, so good luck. You only got a 9 on it though.
Oh, yeah, terrible aim.
Yeah.
What about you, Lukien? You got one?
Natural 20.
So it actually over 2 minutes.
And a 2!
It's like square in like the forehead and everything. You're like, and immediately straight back, like arms
Kind of
out.
step up and do the,
I had it coming.
the military guy who locks his legs and just kind of
Boom!
timber.
Lukien got revenge for you.
He got a natural 20 on his circular
Nice.
shot.
I heard he missed one shot and I was like, it's okay. Wizards don't need aim. They have fireball.
But you have to aim the fireball. Oh,
But
I guess the fire bolts is what I guess.
I feel like that's probably not aiming well enough. One of you sacrifice a dribble of your water.
I don't have water.
Yeah, don't dribble Pepsi on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with blue because if it stains, then it's not
I'm just gonna make it look more like the map.
These are mats by Mars. They're not supposed to stain. So.
I think we need to.
I can grab one.
Right,
I'm
it's
not
right
as
as
blue.
well, yeah.
Meanwhile, while she's doing that, I'll let you know. All right. So the basic rules for the archery tournament is there's 2 stages. One that's basically short-range targets of varying sizes, aka varying armor classes. To hit.
Right.
And then you have to shoot 3 at long range. So also varying sizes, so varying ACs.
Alright.
But you get to pick which targets you shoot at short range and which targets you shoot at long range.
Oh.
Basically, whoever has the most points, each target have it being worth a different number of points. The AC 10 target is worth 2 points, an AC 12 target is worth 3 points, and an AC 14 target is worth 4 points.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you basically are collecting up points from your 3 shots at short and 3 your 3 shots from at long to see who has the most points at the end, and they're the one that wins.
Okay.
So there's like a little bit of strategy, like, okay, am I really good?
You're
or-
not just walking out there to fire.
Right. So you can go for the higher armor class targets to try to rack up extra points.
But there's also higher risk of missing.
Right.
Okay.
But you kind of walk out there, and today you're going up. There's only 4 other contestants other than yourself. One of them, Elias Schwartz, which you know is the older brother to
Annika.
Annika that I was talking about before. He's going out there and he's He's going to do the archery tournament. He's not particularly well known as an archer. He's doing it because he believes that being a versatile soldier will benefit him in the long run. So basically, it's just
Makes sense.
I want to give it a shot and do
Right.
my part. It's good for practice.
Yeah.
Because doing something like this in the stress of trying to win a tournament and everything, it's not quite the same as a battle, but it does add stress, which
It adds to that level of focus.
you also, one of the other people that you're going up is Gunter Becker. Gunter is the one that the three of you met 5 years prior, who at the time was 16, and he was the one that was basically, you were saying, would murder everybody if you caught them. He is a notorious bully.
Gotcha.
He's still a bit of a bully even now, even though really his life hasn't gone really anywhere. He's a farmer on his parents' farm, which isn't a bad life, by any stretch of the word, but he is also known to be slightly lazy. So he's not a very good farmer, but he's not out to looking for another line of work either. So
He just grumps about the one he has.
he grumps about the one he has and then kind of half-asses it. He's constantly fighting with his parents, who unfortunately are older, so they kind of have to have their kids around in order to run the farm because they can't do it themselves anymore. So their farm is slightly in decline. All their hopes right now are on Hans to turn out to be a decent kid.
Ooh.
And then of course there's you. Garrett Haas is he's just kind of another farm boy, roughly the same age as Guter, about 20, 21, somewhere around in there. He's known to be a decent hunter. He goes out and he does wild game hunting and everything. So he's not just a farmer, he's a little bit of a hunter.
Yeah, he's probably decent enough for this.
Yeah, he won last year's tournament. Not by like a very wide margin, but he was last year's winner in the tournament. And so it was he's got a pretty good shot at it. But there's a new person this year. A very interesting person named Larmar Gilden. Larmar Gilden is a odd-looking woman, an elf. Very tall, like 6'6", kind of thin, almost elongated in her overall length, like the way she looks and everything. She looks almost slightly stretched out, but she's very pretty with this long, like huge mane of golden locks that kind of fall down over her shoulders, and these kind of odd, almost jewel-like blue eyes. Very, very pale skin that almost has like an opalescent sheen to it.
And what did you say her name was again?
Larimar. Larimar Gilden. So they go up and everybody's basically takes their turns to go up and do their shots. We'll start with Larimar.
Okay.
And she's going to take 3 shots. You have to declare what your targets are, and she's going to basically take 1 shot at each of the sized targets.
Okay, one per.
Yeah. So she's going to.
What's the range of the first one?
It's 3 targets at short range and 2 targets at long range. It's just a matter of what size target you're choosing.
So she shoot at the AC 10 target. She hits that one easily, so she gains 2 points there.
Ooh.
Tell you what, here.
I still have my note card.
Here. On like the little map, you can keep track. So she got 2 points there. She hit the AC 12 target, so she gets 3 points there. And then on the last target, she does not hit the AC 14 target. She rolled a 2. So she hits 2 of the 3 targets, racking up 5 points. 5 points for herself. Then Garrett will go. Garrett is going to take 3 shots at the AC 12 target, though. All 3 at the same target.
Ooh.
And he will hit all 3 times, so he will collect up 9 points.
Oh, right, so worth 3.
You're left-handed.
Yep.
Hey, that's
So that makes it
We're
your
on that side
turn.
of the table.
yeah. Ooh, the cool set of tails now.
Now, I'm assuming that your dex is probably going to be relatively high once we roll stats.
Yeah.
So I'll say that you have a +2
Okay. But yeah, that seems
For now.
Right.
for
As I'm
your.
only kind of just getting into
Right.
it. Okay. Well, let's see. Having watched how they went, it seems like the big target's definitely going to be the hardest.
Okay, just so as a recap, AC 10, AC 12,
And
AC 14.
Okay. I'm feeling ballsy like Garrett. I think I'm gonna go for 3 middle shots.
Okay,
So the first one's a 19.
so hit,
Second one is a 14.
hit.
And the third one, it's only a 9.
Is that with your +2?
Oh, you're right, with the +2, so it's
So
still
it's
only
only
11.
Yeah. Alright, so
not
you
quite.
collect 6 points off of your short range shots. And then Gunter will go. Gunter takes 2 shots at the AC 10, hitting one of them, and 1 shot at the AC 12, missing it. So he only gets 2 points for his thing. Elias decides that he's going to take 2 shots at the AC 12 and 1 shot at the 14.
Ooh, alright.
He will get both of the 12s,
That's
but he will miss the 14, so that
Alright.
puts him at 6 points with you.
Yep.
So right now, Larimar is the leader, I think, right?
Garrett's the leader.
Oh,
He's
Garrett is
landed
the
all 9. I have 6 with Elias in second. Larimar's got 5, and then Guter only has 2.
Okay, so then we move on to the long range targets.
Yeah.
So back to Larimar. She is going to go for 3 AC 12s.
Alright.
She will hit all 3 of them.
Ooh.
So she will get at disadvantage.
Oh, right, yeah, 'cause the long
It doesn't matter, she still hit basically the same rolls. So she will get 9 points there.
Same point value.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then-
This is Garrett.
Garrett, he, seeing that you're tied with him, right?
I'm tied with Elias. Garrett was in the lead after the first round for landing
Oh,
all. He's
that's
the
right.
only one that landed all 3 of his
That's
shots.
So he's going to go for all 3 shots at the
Middle
AC
again.
12 too. He will miss 1, so he will get 6.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
You roll with
He
disadvantage.
doesn't have it because he's got the sharpshooter feat.
Okay,
Ooh.
got it.
So he landed 2.
Yeah, he landed 2. So 6 more points for him.
Oh, that makes it my turn next.
Yeah.
He is ahead of Larimar by 1 point. I'm gonna try 2 at the middle, and I'm gonna make my last shot at the long run just because I think it's the only way I can pull this out.
Okay.
So disadvantage. First one's a 12.
Okay. It hits.
Second one's a 12 as well.
That will hit.
Come on. Oh no, there's a natural 1.
Oh no.
I still landed my first 2 shots like last time. Alright.
And
Next up
Gunter.
is Gunter, yep.
He's going to go for the AC 10 one.
2 points.
And will hit none of them.
Oh.
And then Elias. What's Elias's at?
He was tied with me at
He's at
6.
So in order to win, he needs what?
He'd need
9.
more than 9
You can
points.
ignore. Yeah, more
At
than
least
9.
9 to tie.
All right, so he's going to go all 3 shots at the AC 14 one.
That's, yeah, really the only way you can do it.
Disadvantage?
Yeah, unfortunately.
He will hit 2 of them, which will only give him 8 points.
Which will tie him with Larimar at 14. So, that puts Garrett in the lead at 15, Larimar and Elias at 14. I came in 3rd, and Gunter played.
Gunter gets a participation ribbon?
Oh yeah.
So after that, the everybody kind of gathers around to kind of congratulate one another and kind of bullshit and kind of chit chat a little bit.
Right.
Good sportsmanship kind of thing, except for Gunter. Gunther just kind of snaps his bow and tosses it on the ground and walks off, and he throws down his quiver of arrows.
I'll try not to audibly laugh, but I'm not exactly hiding it that well
He
with
just kind
that.
of glares at you as he walks off. Elias will go over and kind of pick up the bits and everything and pick up the quiver, and he just kind of divides up the arrows between the rest of you. He's like, if he's not going to use these, he might as well be actually taken by somebody that's capable.
Much appreciated, thank you. Also, I agree.
It was a really good shooting against you guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think I was a little overconfident. I thought I was going to do better, but it was still a lot of fun.
We always hope that we do better, right?
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah, you guys definitely a better run this year than you did last year.
I can send you a message. And then I rolled a 17.
Okay. I don't have.
Oh, you're on your phone? Oh, I wanted to throw a snowball at Gunter as he's walking away.
Alright. Yeah, you hit him. And he will roll a 2 for his.
Nice.
So yeah, as he's walking away, he's like right in like the back of the, like if the shoulder blades meets the neck, just like takes down into the snow, just kind of there. See some people just kind of walk around him, going in the direction.
Boys.
Uh,
Snow festival.
There, Mark kind of looks at you. She's like, "Show great promise as an archer."
So did you. That was some nice shooting.
I did okay.
You did better than I did.
Perhaps we will meet again in the future. Maybe future tournaments. Maybe other things.
Wink.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an engagement this evening that I would like to prepare for.
Alright. Well, enjoy the rest of the festival.
And she bows like oddly, overly deeply. With this like little curtsy for standing and walking away.
Interesting, though.
Did you win?
Of course! I did not. No. I
Oh.
believe I came in third, but I think the real victory here was watching, and I just point to Gunter over in the snow.
At this point, it's starting to kind of get up and look around, kind of confused.
I guess he only came in third.
12
If they
hit?
actually disadvantage because he's prone.
Disadvantage because
No, he was getting up, so.
Okay.
I was just being silly.
You guys are assholes.
And he rolled a 6. So he's like, gets up, he's like, into a snowbank.
I hope he didn't see if you did that because we're going to be in serious trouble later.
Everyone else is doing it?
Everyone else of our group, to him.
Oh, well, to be fair, he sucks. So.
So I'm gonna start to leave.
So
The immediate.
you
We
guys kind
get
of,
free snacks all day.
I
speaking of which, you see a group of kids go by with a clay mug filled with hot cocoa. Some of them with ribbon, some of them without. But as you remember, all of you get 2 free mugs of either cider or cocoa, or a cider and a cocoa of your choice.
I want one with marshmallows! And I run off towards the nearest cocoa booth.
So as a participant in one of the games, you get 1 free cider, basically, or a beer if you so choose. There is one of the local brewers here that has rolled out several kegs for basically free drinks for all the people.
Much appreciated. Put up on cider.
One of the booths, as you guys are going along, you guys gather up your drinks and everything. You see one particular vendor seems to be doing particularly well, and you kind of think about it for a second. And you realize it's for 2 reasons. One, he sells some of the best sausages in the town, and 2, he's cooking them right there, so there's warmth. It's just kind of emanating from around his booth. So he's kind of collected up like a little bit of a crowd just kind of around his booth.
Even people who aren't buying it are hanging out.
Yeah.
And just the smell of cooking sausages.
But you know him as Mr. Shepherd. He is the halfling that runs the shepherd and wolf inn. The wolf and shepherd.
As we come up, we'll just, Mr. Shepherd, can we get some sausages for me and my little victors here?
Kind of pokes it over the crowd as
We
best
won.
he can.
Oh,
He's
here,
like,
you're back.
absolutely. Free sausages, and I tell you what, I'll give you one I saw you shooting. Kind of hands out like
Alright.
little sausages on a stick. It's like, basically they're brats. Like big, juicy, greasy
Thanks.
brats and everything. Yes. And he gives you like little cups of like these little like clay cups of mustard.
Oh.
And he's like, make sure you give me those cups back though. I need those back. And I bet for you three I got something special. Giving them out only to the winners. Sorry you're out of luck.
I
He
didn't do
reaches
that
down and he
great.
pulls out these big, fluffy, salt-covered pretzels. He hands them out. They're kind of like slightly wrapped in like a little bit of a paper. And they're really, really warm. It's like,
I did mine in the mustard.
okay.
Weirdo. I lick all the salt off first, and then I eat the pretzel.
Weirdo.
No, this is how it's done right. Is Wolf there at the booth, or is he?
Wolf is not at the booth. Wolf doesn't really like coming to the festivals that much anymore. He used to go to all of the festivals, but as he's getting older, he's a
It's
little
more
less
guilty by the
tolerant of all of the noise of the kids. So now he kind of lounges at the inn in front of the hearth.
Just flopped out, belly
Just
on the fire,
completely
farting
flopped
every now and then.
Just so people are aware, Wolf is actually a wolf. He's a large dire wolf.
Oh,
That is an animal companion to Shepherd. Mr. Shepherd used to be a ranger, but he is no
So that's a
longer
good
now.
answer.
He's just an innkeeper who has a love of food and ale and good song, and also catering to adventurers that move through town. There's not a lot of them that come through town, but there's enough that he stays busy enough, catering to the very particular needs of adventurers.
Right.
He has like a safe room for storing items and stuff like that, a large bath area, well-stocked pantry, and lots of different ales and wines and spirits that he imports and everything. Most of the stuff he has there is relatively expensive, but the amount of money that he can make off the adventurers that come through more than cover his expenses.
Kind of everything you wish you had on some of these adventures.
Yeah.
I wish this inn had a huge bath area.
But he does run the largest inn in town. There is another inn that is a little bit more upscale, run by a half-elven woman, but it doesn't see quite the traffic as his inn does. So,
Because it's the nicest.
Cut my pretzel open in half and put kielbasa in the pretzel.
I'm just gonna leisurely eat my sausage.
So, are we gonna go get cider? Oh, also we're going to a party tonight, and you're coming with.
What?
Yeah.
I was gonna warn my. I mean, I guess I could log on. He just kind of
How
starts.
often do you get
It's a
invited to
kid's
a party?
You're inviting an adult?
It's
That's kind of where I was. At
it's
with
not
this.
like a kids party. It's gonna be at the Lord and Lady's Manor, so it's gonna be all hoity-toity people anyway.
Oh, I can talk to them about their locks. All right, I'm in.
You'll have to wear a nice shirt though. We're gonna have to wear nice shirts.
I'm gonna brush my shirt off.
Mildly offended that my shirt's
just
not
like
acceptable.
mustard. I know, I get
Dip it
that
in there.
myself, so therefore.
You can just write down his cleavage. Just write down the middle.
Or one big glob somewhere.
I just bought this white shirt. Everywhere though.
It was a camouflage for the snow.
So, as you guys are kind of walking along, what are you guys intending to do for the remainder of the festival?
Get as much free food as possible. And as much-
There is a lot of free food to be had.
And I put it in my pocket, and I put it in my other pocket.
There's a variety of different there's like baked goods, not just like the pretzels, but there's like sweet pecan rolls, and there's cinnamon rolls, and streusel, and there's like varying meats, everything from the sausages, like the brats and stuff that you had, to brain.
Pretzel.
No.
Brats.
I said brats already.
Sausages. Schnitzel.
Schnitzel.
Thank
That's
you.
the one I'm looking for. Basically, schnitzel that's basically kind of rolled up, and you basically hold it like a little paper cone type thing.
Like a gyro.
Yeah, like that. With varying
There's no
sauces
way it
and
goes in my
stuff.
hole.
There's also for most of the older people, some of the older teens, like you're considered old enough to get some of the beers and stuff that they have. At the
Getting wasted.
thing.
Beer's gross.
Only the first 5.
But you guys are having a pretty good time going from vendor to vendor and looking at the different stuff. Almost everybody here is like some sort of local vendor that's kind of turned out from their regular shops to provide something. You decided that, most people don't hit up locksmiths at the festival.
I would like to think that we end up spending most of our time trying to keep up with her, and then I'm just going to shamelessly self-promote while ever I'm eating there before I move on to the next one. That's kind of how I imagine the trip goes.
No, don't put 2 of those in your mouth at once. Also, I'm really great at fixing locks.
Essentially,
really
yeah.
upgrade your security.
Oh, hold on, she's running off. Look, give me a call if you need your... Anyways.
Here's my card.
Have like little puzzles, like lockpicking puzzles.
Yeah, right, like it's all out of whack. Just here, take this.
Bring it to me when you solve it.
This one's called the Lament Configuration. No? Okay.
No, sorry.
Then element configuration.
Hellraiser. Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah.
Want to watch those too? Now that we finished Jason.
So, as you guys are walking along, you notice the relatively snow-filled clouds that have been kind of lingering all day are starting to darken ever so slightly. You hear a distant rumble of thunder. Then all of a sudden the ground underneath you begins to shake. The sound of the music immediately ends as the ground is just trembling and shaking. People will be kind of looking around, wondering what's going on. Then all of a sudden a fissure opens up along the entire length of this field. Fire shoots out of it. You hear off in the city itself, you hear explosions and you see columns of smoke and flame erupt out of it. The wind begins to pick up in a horrendous storm as elemental creatures begin to lay siege to the town itself.
No!
The ground shakes and trembles. What are you doing?
I'm going to
Are we
grab
all-
onto Kurt's sleeve.
Are we all within inside of each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
To the tower.
Where's
I know
the
what
tower?
to do. The wizard will know what to do.
Okay,
My
I pull up my shield.
parents. I gotta see if my parents are okay.
I think that we have to get to the tower, and we can have the wizard check on them with he's got that thing,
That's
right?
True. Yeah, we can do that.
And that'd be faster than trying to go back to the farm. Let's go!
Yeah.
All right.
I
So as
finish
you
the
guys
last of
go-
my pretzel and I pull up my shield.
Here, come
As you guys
on!
go running across the field, you see earth elemental erupt from the ground nearby and slam some of the nearby vendors. You see several of the town guards come rushing out and they're firing arrows, some of them grabbing their shields and their spears, and they kind of move forward in a phalanx position to try to battle this elemental. You see Mr. Otto, the local stable master, comes running by. He kind of shoves you kids off to the side just as another elemental erupts out from underneath you. You see him pull out a dagger and he slams it into the side of this elemental, and you see it dig deep and some of the earth kind of cave way away from it as it turns to face the old man.
I'm
You
gonna
see
paralyze
several.
it. I want to throw a snowball at it with
All
my
right.
stick.
Try it.
19
You will hit it.
with a snowball. Ah!
All right.
Maybe it'll get paralyzed.
Unfortunately, no. As you fling the snowball at it, it just kind of hits and it kind of turns and looks at you. Just as Mr. Otto climbs up on it and jams the dagger into the side of it, and he basically turns its attention back to him and he's like, "Get out of here!"
I will run. I
Oh,
still
yeah,
want
it's
this
running.
shit.
You see Mr. Shepherd comes running out, and he's snatched up a set of a bow and quiver from one of the nearby vendors, and he's just launching arrow after arrow into various elementals, and you hear this and this loud roaring howl as this massive gray-black dire wolf just comes shoving past you guys and just leaps upon a passing elemental and just bears it to the ground as Shepherd basically jumps up on top of it and just unloads arrows into basically what would be this creature's head. At this point, again, the ground begins to shake and rumble, and that fissure goes from just like a little split in the ground to a wide, yawning, cracking chasm. All four of you give me dexterity saving throws.
Do I have a plus 2?
Yeah.
10. Oh.
19.
9.
Alright, so you three immediately just swallow and plummet off into the darkness down below. You cling to the edge, sliding down maybe 10 feet, and you see your sister disappear into the darkness along with your other two companions.
Kira!
Oh, short.
What are you doing?
I'm smart but not very wise. I'm going to go after my sister, so I'm going to try and look around and just try and get down.
Alright, give me an athletics check.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Meanwhile, you three hit the ground hard at the bottom of the thing. You manage to basically tumble and slide off of the walls and everything, which takes you're battered and bruised, but the air is knocked out of you, but you're not injured to the point of being unable to move. So you start kind of getting up and you look up and it's dozens of feet up above you, this kind of like weird sliding crack, but you are in some sort of basically at the base of this long crack. You see at one side at one end from where you can see is just a dead end. It's just goes into kind of like a point almost where the ground is cracked. But the other end goes off towards into darkness. You're climbing out. What'd you get?
8.
So you climb down and then you lose your grip and you come sliding down and you land a few feet from them. Roll perception. So basically, roll a d10.
A d20.
Hey, that makes
Sorry,
up for my
D20.
crappy fall.
I can't see anything.
3.
Natural 20.
2.
11. I go help him up.
Alright, you two, as you go over to help him up, you notice you can feel the ground still shaking. The earthquake hasn't stopped, but you notice that the crack is beginning to close up.
I think we need to move. We don't have time to sit around.
Which way do we go?
Can we make it up? I don't think any of us are good at it.
Looking up, you're pretty sure you're not going to be able to make it up.
Yeah, we just need to go the only direction we can. But we gotta move.
Alright, so you guys, you get up and you guys begin running. Roll initiative.
Oh.
Alright. Kurt.
11.
Lukien.
4.
Vic.
Plus 2.
There you go. Oh yeah, I do. 11.
What do you want, Lair?
Just write a thing. I just need you to put a number down.
Okay, what number?
2.
Okay, so Kira is first. She's gonna grab onto Kurt's hand and start running in the direction that Vic pointed us towards.
Alright.
And then it's Kurt and Vic, Simo.
Alright.
I guess keep running.
Yeah.
So just running, are you using your action to dash?
Yeah, we should probably.
Yeah, no, we need to go
just
full
as
speed.
fast as we can.
Alright, so you guys are kind of moving along and the walls are closing in. They started out maybe 20 feet apart, but they've already closed into just 10 feet. They're going to be closed soon and you guys will be crushed. Who's next?
It's a Lukien.
Alright, Lukien.
Yeah, dashing.
Alright, so you go running through there, and as you're running through, you see from the earthen face to either side of you, you see what looks like small, almost imp-like creatures begin to pull away, dripping of like the strain, almost like they're made of mud and earth. They kind of pull away, and you see these wings flare out, flinging mud to either side. They're looking around. They look at you and start to and begin moving in your direction.
Bad guys.
That was the bad guys.
Alright, initiative.
Initiative.
Yes.
Kurt.
18.
Lukien.
20.
Vic.
15.
Bad guys.
5.
Lukien.
Running. But I don't want to pass anybody. I want to stay in the back of the line, but in between.
Basically, kind of like pushing them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go running, and you're like pushing them along. Who's after Lukien?
Hey, no, sorry, Kurt.
So, re-rolled a 1 for her initiative. So can I play it that I see her start to stumble?
Yeah, you see her stumbling, kind of struggling to keep up.
Yeah, I'm gonna just help her. I'm not gonna run ahead of her. So,
Alright, so you
It's all these snacks!
so you grab hold of her and begin kind of dragging her along, kind of up underneath. Lukien is right there with you, and he takes the other side, and you guys kind of move her forward. Who's after that?
I'm gonna do the same thing Lukien did. I'm gonna try and help herd them and make sure they can move.
Alright, so you guys move, and as you move out, you see these imps, these mud-created imps, come flying out towards you. Just as the wall slams shut behind you, you're splattered with mud, and then everything gets quiet.
If we
I
look
touched the
around-
wall. Is it moving?
It is not.
If we look around, there's no immediate way to the surface, is there?
Where is this going? But you look around, and you are just plunged into complete darkness. Those of you with dark vision,
so I think it's all of us but Lukien, right?
look around. Yeah, you look around, and you see that there are elements of this otherwise natural stone passageway that looks like at one time it might have been part of something that was actually built.
Is your PHP?
So there are sections of it that are carved stone mixed with bits that are kind of rough and crumbled. Everything is just lined with cobwebs. There's a dampness to the air. There's just like a thick layer of kind of muddy dust that kind of litters the floor as you're looking around. Two of you two, the twins, smell a familiar scent, that dank, musty odor of the long dead. And you believe that somehow this probably connects to the catacombs underneath the cemetery.
Okay.
An area that you two have spent a large amount of time in.
I think we're in the cemetery. Or part of it.
Might even be an ancient part, one that no one's been to in
A
years.
long time. This is so neat.
So we're surrounded by dead people?
Well, yeah, but they're dead.
You are in pitch black darkness. You can't see anything, but you can hear the voices of your three companions. You know, I'm talking about the fact that possibly you're in the catacombs.
I'll huddle as close to them as I can without.
I'll hold on to his
seeing
hand.
anything. I feel better.
It's okay. I think I know how to get us out. We have to go this way, and I will walk confidently forward.
Wait,
Hoping not
I
to
think
hit a
it's
wall.
this way.
Well, that's the way we came.
Well, I'm not talking about the way we came.
Oh. Are there multiple paths?
There's one.
There's just one path.
There's one. Basically, the closed up area behind you, and then this
Okay.
ongoing passageway.
I guess I wouldn't say it's this way then, because if we have a disagreement about which way to go, that's when I'll say that. Like, there's multiple paths, and she says this way, I'm gonna.
It's gonna be the other way, of course. Okay.
As you guys are moving along, you travel, and there's at least a little bit of comfort in the fact that down here below the surface, the air is not that cold. It's a fairly constant temperature. There is a steady breeze of whistling wind that provides you with those stale and unpleasant smelling fresh air, which also lets you know that this does open up somewhere else, at the very least. You see that the cobwebs just kind of waft and move ever so slightly. Your footsteps kind of crunch on the stone underneath, and occasionally the large insects that are skirting around on the floor of the tunnel. After about 40 or so yards, you find an area in the stone where the stonework is still mostly intact. You see little alcoves stacked on top of one another of mummified skeletal remains, kind of like neatly laid into these cubbies in the wall. And then it will go back to almost a natural stone for a few feet, and then again you will see more shelves of these cubbies. This goes on for approximately a half a mile as you're walking along. There is no deviation from the path. The tunnel doesn't turn. It is mostly straight. Not completely straight. It does have slight crooks to it, as is want the earth as the earth has shifted and stuff over the years. But there's no side passageways that go anywhere. You do notice, those of you with dark vision, that some of the bodies, that the clothing and stuff are of a more older design. A lot of it is also reminiscent of the garb of soldiers.
After like a couple of minutes of creepy silence, in order to make her companions feel more at ease, Kira will start singing Jingle Bells. Just kind of like Jingle bells, dashing through the snow, in one horse open inside. Because she's not bothered about being underground in all these graves. But, you know.
Is there like
Just going through and singing holiday songs while we go through this.
Is there any old torches in sconces along the wall? Or?
Walking, do you ask them?
Yeah, it's like we need some source of light. I can't see my hand in front of my face.
Your hand's not in front of your face. I can see it.
I'll look around for a torch for him while they're having this conversation.
Looking around, you do see that occasionally there is a sconce in the wall with a tub, a stub of a torch in it. Probably won't last more than 20 or so minutes, but you might be able to find more and keep one lit as you travel along.
trees or have a way to light it?
I don't believe I do.
Can I use thaumaturgy to light it?
Because thaumaturgy can make flames flicker, but not actually light.
Being on the farm, I would have had some type of what's that metal called?
Flint.
Flint and steel. I have flint and steel on the farm.
Sure, I'll allow that. So basically, roll a d20.
14.
Yeah, you're like, you scurry kind of, even in like the complete darkness, you kind of figure, you take the torch and you kind of hold it there and you get close to it and you check and you give it a few strikes, and soon this little stub of a torch does catch. And you see all around you the gray, dull, earthy stone and these little stacks, alcoves of long dead soldiers. You see some of them have weapons, but nothing that would be even remotely useful. They are just turned to rust and decay.
Do these, would we recognize the symbols on the soldiers' outfits, or is it like older than the town itself?
It's it's pretty old. These would be the actual royal military, not town guard.
Oh, okay.
So the military of the kingdom. So this is probably from when the actual fort was actually built, which was about 200 years ago at this point. So basically before Stromberg was Stromberg.
Yeah.
I will use thaumaturgy to make the torch as bright as it can be, and it will give off alternating bright pink and bright blue flame. It kind of strobes back and forth.
Okay. As you guys are
Mind your seizure.
walking along through the shadows, you do come to a section to where you can go either right or left.
It's definitely to the left.
I'm gonna hold my torch
To
up
the right.
and see which way, if there's any wind blow, like, see if there's any breeze coming from one end or from another.
You do know that basically holding up your torch, which is a good idea. Hold up your torch, and the wind is the flame is drawn towards the right.
Damn.
Right way.
Which one of you had right?
But you hear a faint whisper from the left.
Can I make it out or does it just sound?
Give me a perception.
6.
Can't quite make it out. You hear it though. You swear you can hear maybe a female voice,
Okay. That's better.
but you only make out one word, though it's saying complete sentences, but you make out one word. Lukien.
I don't know if we're alone down here.
Of course we're not. There's we've passed so many people.
That's not right.
Oh.
We should pick it up a little bit, I think.
Do we go down the right path then?
Yeah, if there's fresh air that way, we should go that way.
Alright,
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la.
go around in that
As
direction.
they start to walk away, I'm gonna look down the other tunnel for a second before I follow them.
You kind of look down the other
'Cause it
tunnel.
seemed like it bothered
doesn't
him.
look any different than the one you're already in.
Can I take
It's just kind of like a slight T intersection.
Can I take a second to listen?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
12.
You do hear something. You're listening, and you hear almost like a crackling. Kind of listening, but then you realize it's not coming from the left side of the passageway. You kind of turn and you look back in the other direction, and the crackling gets louder. And then from a distant corner that just out of eyesight from where you're at, you see a glow against the wall, kind of flickering.
Does it look like torchlight or?
Kinda, maybe
more than-
brighter.
That's gonna spook me. I'm gonna go catch up to the kids.
All right, you catch up to them as they're walking in that direction. You guys kind of stop, and you see this thing, and you can hear it now. It's getting louder.
And it's behind us?
It is ahead of you, basically in the direction that you had chosen to walk.
I mean, if you're the right path, walk the right path.
And then you see up maybe about 80 feet ahead of you, that slight glow kind of comes around the corner, and you see this towering fire elemental that kind of comes around, and it doesn't seem to have spotted you yet. What are you going to do?
Put the torch out. Drop the torch, stomp on it.
I could bomb the torch and get out.
Whatever.
So, torch is up.
And then slowly try to just back up stealthily.
Alright, roll stealth checks.
Nice.
3.
14.
2.
Total 20.
18.
Alright, so you guys are moving along, trying to move away from this thing without making any noise. The four of you kind of make up for him, basically, as he gets ready to bump into a wall or whatever. You kind of pull him out and kind of keep him huddled, herding him through the center of the corridor where it's the clearest. Moving towards the left side, but this thing keeps moving towards you guys. You don't know if he sees you or not, but he is moving in your guys' direction. And then, quite suddenly, he flares up incredibly bright and looks directly in your direction and begins to lunge in that direction, chasing after you.
And scream.
So, initiative.
Yeah.
Yay.
Kurt.
3.
Vic.
12.
Lukien.
6.
That guy.
8.
Vic.
I'm not really sure how to fight against fire right now, so I'm just gonna try and get in between the elemental and the kids and help get them back, basically, to be the most protective barrier I can be.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Oh god. So they just kind of come rushing towards you. They are a good distance away, but they will gain on you if you guys don't get a move on them.
Okay.
Not dashing will wind up getting you guys cooked.
Lukien and Kira, Simo.
I'm gonna dash. Run
Alright.
dash.
You guys running.
Alright. I'm gonna pull him away from the wall from where he run into it and be like, come on, come on, come on, come on! And then I will dash.
Alright.
And that's your turn.
Run dash.
Alright. And so as they go running past you, you're kind of moving along behind them, but now they leave you a little bit behind because they have taken off. As you guys are running and running, your speed is basically just keeping you just 2 or 3 paces ahead of this elemental as it's like charging along after
I
you.
would say I can feel the heat, probably.
Yeah. He's about 50 feet behind, or 60 feet behind where you're at. Moving along, and then as you run in, you enter into a large, relatively square chamber. As you kind of come in, you see it opens up into a very neatly hewn square block chamber. There are 3 alcoves on either side that have much fancier remains left inside, armored, what looks like perhaps knights. In the very, very center of it is a single sarcophagus with this old antique sword and shield laying on top of it. So while you guys roll initiative, I will go grab the... Oh, yes. Alright, so who's first?
I need a bad guy's initiative.
5.
5. Okay, so it's twins first.
Both. Yeah, we both rolled the same.
I'm gonna run and hide behind the sarcophagus.
I am gonna do the same next to you.
So you duck and hide behind the sarcophagus, making it Lukien's
You want
turn.
to give me stealth checks?
Yeah. 9.
10.
10?
Quick look around. Is there any spears?
There are no spears. The only visible weapon you see is the one that is on the sarcophagus
The
with the
sword and
shield.
shield.
Okay, so I'm gonna run, jump up on the sarcophagus, pick up the sword and shield.
Alright, as you reach down and you pick up the sword, as you pick it up, it just crumbles away into rust.
Oh no.
There's like, you got maybe about 6-7 inches of rusty, useless blade and a very nice looking hilt. But you also have this just completely cobweb and dust covered antique shield. It is like old, I mean, and it's wood. It's got iron bindings around the outside edges of it. It's a kite shield, which is not the type of shield that's been used in this area for many, many years. The standard shield these days is a fairly light steel heater style shield. This is just this big kind of like bulky wooden shield, just covered in dust and cobwebs.
Alright. After Kurt.
Or after Lukien.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you on top of the thing?
Yes.
Apparently you are not. Okay, so after Lukien it is Vic, and bad guys, Simon.
Okay, so the bad guy will move forward 30 feet. And as he's walking along, his hands just kind of draping across and brushing against the various cobwebs and things, just setting things alight. The corpses that are like dried out husks, just kind of setting them ablaze in the hallway.
Alright. Over there. Don't die, Luke, don't die. Initiative.
Oh, come
Okay.
on.
15.
Vic,
6.
Lukien,
8.
bad guys.
5!
Alright, Kira is first. she's gonna hold both of her hands onto the sarcophagus in front of her, and she's gonna start praying to Astariel for help.
Okay. Roll percentiles.
24.
Okay.
And that makes it Kurt's turn.
Alright, Kurt.
I'm gonna look around the room, and do I see anything that looks like it would be useful at all?
Looking around, you still have your snowball thrower with a snowball in it. You see he has picked up an old dusty shield, and he's got in one hand the hilt of a sword. Looking about from where you're at, you can't really see the bodies of the others very much to see if they have anything useful on them. Do you want to move over and?
No. Does the sarcophagus lid look, how sealed does it?
It still has its full seal
Okay.
on it. Something you would easily recognize,
Yeah.
given your upbringing. Anything else?
No, I can't think of anything.
Lukien.
So standing on top of this, the elemental has seen us, right? Like it knows
Yeah.
that we're here? Okay. Can I do a perception check to see if there's any miscolored stone, or maybe like somewhere that might be like an exit that's been like sealed up?
Give me perception.
7.
Looking around, no. Your eyes keep getting drawn back to this elemental that you know is going to kill you guys. It will kill all of you. And it's just bearing down. You can feel just the intense heat already bearing down on you. The room is beginning to fill with smoke from the charred corpses that he's leaving in his wake.
Can I know you did an action, but can I kind of concentrate on that whisper that I heard earlier and try and reply to it?
Sure.
I say, I don't know who you are or what you want, but we need you right now. Whatever you are, grant me the strength to fight this elemental, and I will be yours.
At that point, you see the shield, and it's just covered in cobwebs, dust, just like thick layer of dust. Begins to turn red, and all of the debris and everything on it just burns away and falls away into like cinders and ash, revealing a red and black squared kite shield, in the center of which is like a glowing silver. Bree, what do they call the shield boss in the center of it? And you grip it, and you can feel what the shield does.
Okay. So am I attuned to the shield, basically? Okay. So then I will create the fourth dome.
Is everybody in it?
Oh no, I gotta wait. I'm gonna call over to Vic and say, get over here!
Hold your action.
Yeah, hold my action until it gets to me.
Okay.
Vic is next.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're right after Lukien.
I'm gonna listen to Lukien as seeing that shield clearly means something's happening.
15-foot radius, so So
Nice.
yeah, then I'll cast the force dome on my.
So you hold up the shield and you say the command word. What do you want the command word to be?
Oh man, on the spot.
Don't be so lame. Don't be that lame.
Thunderdome.
Oh,
No, I don't know.
Oh shit. I'm gonna Krieg.
Okay. You see this reddish, crystalline, almost like strangely warm dome erupt out from the shield in a 15-foot radius, covering you, blocking out the ash and the soot and everything as you are placed inside of this dome.
Alright, after Vic and Lukien.
The bad guy like moves forward to within 15 feet of
So yeah.
Right there. That's the edge of the dome.
yeah, and stops and is like trying to confused as to what's going on, and it starts slamming into the side of it. As it's banging on the side of it, slamming against it.
Initiative. Kurt.
15.
Vic.
22.
Lukien.
17.
Bad guys.
18.
Vic.
There's not really much I can do, but given the situation,
Efficient.
Lukien, are you sure you know what you're doing? I mean,
I have no idea!
you just keep doing it then. That's my turn.
Bree.
Alright.
Lukien next.
After Vic, it is bad guy.
Oh, that's right. It was right.
Alright, so it will slam the barrier. We'll hit twice. So 26 with one slam. Don't forget to half it. Yeah. And then 16 with the second.
And then it's Lukien's turn.
I'll just keep holding the shield up.
Okay. And just straining.
Yeah.
See sweat kind of starting to collect on his brow.
It's warm.
Alright, after Lukien, it is Kurt.
I don't know what you're doing with that shield, but keep doing it.
See?
I guess I'm gonna run. So on this side, I'm gonna run over here, and I guess I'll start looking around the I'll look around the alcove, see if there's anything else.
You
Remember,
want
you
the
have
bow?
to stay within 15 feet of him.
You can't leave the shield.
I can't leave it at all.
Yeah.
So
As you
it's
get
all
up to it,
outside
it's
of
just
it, yeah.
a force, a barrier of solid
Okay.
force.
Look in maybe there's something in this sarcophagus. Let's.
Well, ask it. It's
Have to
really
get it
sealed. I'm not gonna be able to open it. And you're standing on top of it too.
Will be a most epic pose.
Guess the only place I can actually reach is the back wall. I guess I can investigate the back wall and see if there's anything I can. 2. Nope.
You look, you're like
Yeah.
struggling. Panic is starting to set in.
Alright, next it is Kira. Kira is going to start poking around at the sarcophagus and just kind of talking out loud to a startle. I don't know who this was. Maybe they were like a badass warrior or something. And maybe you could send someone to help us because we're gonna get barbecued like a sweet roll on a stick.
Alright. So you want to do a search check or do you want to roll another percentile?
What do I need to roll on a percentile?
You got
I don't know. I'm gonna go with percentiles because I feel like that's she's just doing the sarcophagus thing to have her hands too busy. 51.
Alright. Here's up for you.
Nish. Kurt.
11.
Vic.
19.
Lukien.
15.
That guys.
16.
Vic.
Upon seeing that Kurt's trying to find a way out, I'm gonna go join him at the back of the dome here and do the same.
Okay.
9.
You're looking, but you're kind of like Kurt. You're starting to, you're a little freaked out. You don't know what to do.
They're just behind us. Just
Yeah.
gonna get through.
Kurt and bad guy, or sorry, Kira and bad guy Simon.
Alright, go ahead, Kira.
Okay. Kira will continue to pray. 8.
That's a 10. So that'd be.
Well, it'd be 0, right?
Yeah,
No,
8%?
it's an 8.
It would be an 8.
Because that would be 18.
Yeah,
Oh,
if it was
okay.
in the 10.
Yeah.
Alright.
8%.
If you rolled a 10 on the other one, it would have been 100. But
Yeah.
it doesn't the way it works.
You hear a slight voice in your mind. It says, just hold on.
Okay, everybody just hold on. It's gonna be okay.
Who's next?
That guy was Simon with you.
Alright. Slamming into the thing again. Ooh, he crit twice. Fuck.
Oh.
Just means it's gonna do normal damage.
You don't need your nails ripped.
28 times 2. So 28 for one of them. I'm not gonna multiply it by 2 since
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah. The crits are normal damage.
It's still brutal.
and 32 for the second one. Yeah. You see small like slivers, almost like cracks starting to form in the barrier where it's pounding on it. Next.
Lukien.
Alright, Lukien.
Is there anything on the back of the shield like that would tell me who it belongs to? Like look at the.
There's actually just some initials carved into it. Looks like whatever soldier had it literally just carved their initials into it. And it's IS.
Okay. And then, it'll be my turn.
Good.
So, would I know that Kira saying that, does that sound like her being her optimistic self, or her actually...
Do an insight.
Yeah.
I give you advantage since she's your twin sister.
She's only good at
19.
lying to Vic.
She seems fairly she's panicked, but there's like a sense of like
Okay, it's
actual
gonna be alright.
confidence.
Said it's gonna be fine.
I start calming down a little bit, but I'm still gonna just look around the wall just in case. So,
Still in a dire situation.
not
What the
well.
fuck was that?
I don't
it
know,
was
it was
landed
19.
and
It was
then
like
it
No,
rolled back.
19-1. It was the one, yeah.
Initiative.
Alright, at this point,
Oh.
from behind, you see this strange blue glow that appears behind the elemental and kind of blows past and up against the shield itself. And you can, even through the shield, you can feel the arctic frigid cold of this cone of cold from behind the elemental. As you see bits of its flame literally freeze in place, and it kind of turns and looks. And you can see back behind, you see a familiar tiefling accompanied by a kind of an old man, now equipped with a long sword and a shield, but still in his simple stable master's clothing, and a halfling and a wolf.
Yes.
What needs for that? Oh, thank God for Island Or, innkeepers and stable masters.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Thank God for the innkeeper.
For old adventurers. I mean, they might even know.
They actually all go on 9.
They are the mighty 9.
No.
It's initiative. Come on. Give me something funny. Is it initiative?
Yeah, I told you 9. They all go on 9.
GG. Brain. Kurt?
13.
Vic?
8.
Lukien?
14.
Bad guys?
Elemental.
16.
Alright, that makes bad guys first act.
Alright, so it turns and rushes forward,
20, yep. 25.
and will make one slam attack on the tiefling wizard. Will hit, but the wizard immediately uses shield, and you see it throw up this kind of a purplish clear barrier that the fire elemental slams into. The other attack goes up against Otto, who throws up a shield. He still gets singed, but he does seem to kind of hold back part of the attack. So he takes damage, but he just seems completely unfazed by the attack.
Lukien.
I'm gonna step down off of the casket and just kind of walk to the edge, watching the fight.
So did you get pulled back
No,
because
the barrier doesn't move.
there it
Okay.
moved?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be pretty rad. Bury the move video.
Yeah.
Alright, after Lukien it is Kurt.
Alright, Kurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna just move up next to Lukien and just bet up to the edge of the barrier and take a look at what's going on.
Alright.
No, there's not. I don't think there's not really anything we can do. So.
Good guys.
Alright. So, as the old man holds up his shield, he kind of lowers it, and you can see the gleam of his elderly eyes, the heavy wrinkles at the edges of it, the corners of the eyes and everything. You see his lips part into a slight sneer as he brings the long sword around, and you see it like lash out, and you see electricity gleaming down the blade of it. He slashes out 3 times at this elemental. Hitting all 3 times, and he's just like whoosh, 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 electricity charging, and the elemental screams and lashes about, and drops down to its knees, just as the halfling draws 2 arrows and is like and sends them flying into the elemental. And even though it passes through its form, you can see it like rips holes into its flamish form. And as it kind of cowers and kind of like almost out, the Azariel moves forward, and he's just like and uses his ray of frost to finish it off.
I throw a rock at it.
It bounces off the shield.
Woo! Ow!
It just bounces off the barrel.
So it's gone then?
It is gone.
I'll drop the barrier.
Okay.
I hope the sarcophagus.
The heroes kind of march forward. Is like, you kids okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we managed to hide in here, and
We fell in a hole.
Lukien found a magic shield.
Kind of looks at it like pretty old.
That old as you, probably.
Huh. He's like, gather close. I'll take us home.
Sweet.
And
I will hold Kurt's hand and then grab his robes too.
and he will teleport you guys, and you guys find yourselves standing back out in the snowy field. The world is kind of quiet. You see fires here and there. The entire town is just kind of decimated. Kind of picking through the rubble, you find that there have been many casualties from this strange elemental attack.
We should check on it.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And we should check on your farm family too.
Okay, you guys go check on your home. I'll go check on mine, and we'll meet back at
The Wizard's Tower?
Wizard's
Is the tower
Tower.
still standing?
Yeah.
You should go with him,
Oh.
because your shop's probably gone, which sucks.
Also, there aren't really people there that I'm necessarily worried about, so yeah.
But you guys do go through. Your though the farm is kind of pretty badly damaged. Most of the crops are just completely ruined, which
It
is
is
a
winter, though.
horrible. Well, yeah, but the fields and everything.
Yeah.
It's the barn is gone. Where you had basically a lot of your stores and everything for the winter's food and everything is just completely ruined. But your family is alive.
Oh, okay.
Your father has a mild injury, but he'll be fine. He'll recover just fine. You guys go back, and the manor house seems to be completely, and the forest around it seems completely untouched. You see one of the trees on the outside edge of the forest has a slightly singed branch, but otherwise it's completely untouched.
forest of secretly Whomping Willow is where it is. Don't start shit there.
You see the town's guard accompanied by some of the soldiers from the keep, because it is actually a fortress. It's not just there.
It's not just a castle.
Yeah, it's not just a castle. It's a fort for the local, for the kingdom's military. So they got the soldiers and stuff. Luckily, having that fort there is probably what saved most of the lives in the town, alongside having a handful of relatively seasoned adventurers between those staying in the inn and the ones that actually live in town. Things could have been a lot worse.
So once we make sure that Adel is okay, I'll grab up basically.
She's not even at the house.
She's out in the cemetery, or?
Yeah, she told you where she was going to be at.
Okay. I will grab my kit and her kit and go see if I can find her, and then we can go into town and help people.
Okay. So you're going to go with her out to the cemetery?
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some horses. I'm trying to grab my horse and another horse and try and convince my dad to let me bring him to town to help clear debris.
All right, that's good. Yeah, you did that.
You hear?
He claps your shoulders like, son, I'm glad you're all right.
More importantly, we
turn the
won
other way.
battle.
You're gonna make a great farmer.
Yeah, farmer. Hold the shield and the rusty broken blade. Farmer.
This is touching and all, but we should probably get going.
Yeah. Here's your horse. You use this one. I'll take this one.
All right, so you guys go back into town. You go find Adelthraud, who's basically staying at the house that's there, that you guys, the second house that you guys found, is actually in the cemetery, which is a much cozier little cottage. Everything, she's in there kind of going through some books and everything. She seems completely oblivious to anything that's
We were
going
in the
on.
battle with the snow, and then we won, and we were gonna get sweets, and then we went through, and then there was a chasm, and the whole town died, and now we fell in the hole, and we were chasing through a thing, and there's a guy who was made out of fire, and then Otto came, and he was like with the bow, but now we have to go back to town because there's so many people that are hurt, and we have to help them. What?
Otto had a sword and shield.
I thought Otto had a bow.
Shepard had the bow.
Somebody had a bow! It really doesn't matter the semantics of the matter!
She's like, it sounds fabulous, dear.
I have your bag. There are actual people dead. We should go deal with that.
Well, I don't normally go out and look for the dead myself, but if you think there's that many,
I talked to Astariel. He saved us.
I thought
She
you
is
said
right,
that
though.
Otto saved you.
Otto wouldn't have found us without Astariel.
She is right though, the town did get attacked by elementals. It's in ruins.
And at that point, we'll call it a closed session for tonight.